What's going on, everybody, in the Real Madrid Discord server? All of you athletic phenomenon weapons. Today we have a very, very special late night, early morning, afternoon, I don't know, depending on where you are, episode, Trivela Hour, episode 4. Joined again, we have the full cast. We have BBC present. This is like one of the best trios in the Real Madrid server. Joining me from Kolkata, India, we have Vedant. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, how are you? So my week has been pretty busy. Next week I have Diwali, so I'm going back home. It's a big holiday for me. So this week it's been pretty busy and waiting for the clasico today. It's in the evening. Finally, a good time for Indian watches. I think the first clasico they keep it that way that Asian viewers get a good time. So yeah, pretty excited for that.
Nice, nice. Yeah, usually Spanish matches are like at very, very late hour for you guys, so this will be good. This will be good. But
Yeah,
we also have
1:30 a.m.
we also have returning from the dead, Steezy. What's up, man? Finally back. How's it going?
Feeling absolutely massive, bro. I mean, probably this podcast might make me oversleep the game, but it is what it is. Excited to be here. I'm back.
Oh, yeah, let's give that context real quick. It's currently 3:17 a.m. Central Time for me. So it's about 6 hours from the match. We're doing this super late in the US. I just literally put in a message being like, "Hey, you guys want to record a podcast?" And we decided to get on, give you guys some good content from the Trivela Hour Hype House. But let's just get right into it. We're kind of short on time a little bit today. First thing first, since the last time we recorded, we played two horrible matches that don't deserve coverage. But in case either of you do want to cover anything from the match, just feel free to shout out in like the next 5 seconds. Otherwise, let those matches die and be erased from our memory forever. So I'll give it up to you. Okay, that's enough coverage for both of those matches.
That wasn't even 5 seconds.
Yeah, they didn't even deserve 5 seconds. I mean, Rudiger, he died for Real Madrid. That's all I got to say. Anyways,
Yeah, that was pretty much the only interesting thing that happened.
going forward, we had some really spicy Mbappe drama, which I did put out a solo video on, so I won't be talking much about it in this episode. Go check that out if you haven't already. But yeah, we had a midweek report saying that Mbappe is no longer happy because someone looked at him the wrong way, or I honestly don't know with that guy at this point. So yeah, let's just get some thoughts on the table here. I'm gonna go to you, Steezy. What do you think about this Mbappe situation? What are your thoughts on it?
All right, so I recently watched the Fabrizio video today and basically stated two causes as to why Mbappe isn't happy. One of them being that they didn't sign a proper nine that would allow Mbappe to shift back to his left wing role. And second being internal issues. I'm really curious to see like what these like internal issues are. Like, was it something that they promised him and aren't giving him? Like, did it stem from like Zidane not becoming the manager or something like that? But it says that the earliest reports are saying that like he wanted to leave since July, which is actually like pretty funny. So now that was only like what, like 2 months after he signed like the new contract. I just think the whole situation is super funny. Like he's suffering from like post net syndrome or something. Like he saw it like, oh, this money isn't worth it. Like they're not giving me what I wanted. I fucked up. I should have gone to Real Madrid. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, like thinking about the positional thing because it makes sense, right? Like imagine if you just put like prime CR7 at striker, like he would do really good, but that's not where he wants to be playing. That's not where he's best to be played. And I think that's, Mbappe is of a similar mold type of, footballer. And it just makes sense to me. That positioning portion in particular, what are your thoughts on it? Do you think that he's making a big deal of this and he should just suck it up and play striker for the sake of the team? Or do you think he has a valid claim there?
Mm, Like looking at his previous performances and how he has played for the France national team, I think that his best position is with someone who can play the field, which is why he has been promoting the hashtag chapter it on Instagram and everywhere else. I feel that yeah, Mbappe knows that Mbappe is pretty smart guy. He does not need to be told that what his best position is. He knows what his strengths and what his weaknesses are. So I think that playing with another striker is probably the best for him. But if he comes to Real Madrid, if he, the future comes to Real Madrid, pretty sure that he would have to take over Benzema as well. Like he won't be able to play in the wings that much. So how will he adjust to that later? That's a big question mark. So yeah. Still, I think he should suck it up a bit and play for the team. Like he's making a big hullabaloo about it. But yeah, so he was promised that a striker will be signed in the window by PSG. They were looking at zero and resources are telling. And if they couldn't sign him, that's why he's unhappy, apparently. One of the reasons. So let's see.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting situation because the two teams that have been in the rumors, obviously, we'll get to Real Madrid in a second, but and that whole context there. But the two teams in the rumors right now are Liverpool and Real Madrid, right? And I don't think it's feasible for Liverpool to afford this. But if you just think about it, his claim about not playing his position, he's not going to really be able to play it at Real Madrid or at Liverpool either, right? Like Liverpool desperately need a forward to hold that like line. Like Luis Diaz can play there, right? He's a good player, but he's more of a left flank type of dude. And then if you look at Real Madrid, the left flank and striker position are set in stone. So Mbappe would have to shift to right wing, which is also not his position. So I don't know how much I buy that his gripes about that because I think he just wants to get out for other reasons. But yeah, it's interesting to go on. I think switching the topic a little bit.
Could I
Yeah, go
could I
ahead.
wait? Could I pitch in a little bit? So
Yeah,
basically, I was talking about this with like Inti, and like he kind of gave it to me from like a different perspective. That like, yes, like he may not be able to play this position, the position he wants, at Real Madrid or Liverpool, but it's more so like being promised something to stay at a spot you don't really want to stay than like basically it just feels like betrayed, like imagine like you're working somewhere you don't really like and you get promised like a bunch of benefits in order to stay instead of going to somewhere you actually want to go, which would probably like pay you less. Like you're gonna want those like demands to be fulfilled. um I know, I think it was Terry Henry. He said something about like, oh, when I played in Barcelona, I didn't like playing on the left wing, but I sucked it up and everything. But I don't know, I feel like Mbappe is in his own right to be a little bit upset. he I mean, he got pressure to stay really hard, so he would at least like expect like the demands that he made to be fulfilled, and they're not being respected. I don't know, like it does make him look like a bit like a drama queen, but in his own right, I think he should be allowed to be upset.
yeah. That's an interesting point too. I think being promised something and having it taken away is a legitimate gripe. Um, but I think it also like the one worrying sign I take from that is that it signals some level of immaturity because at the end of the day, like if your gripe is about not being in your position, whether it's promised or not, and you leave to not play your position somewhere else, it's the same situation. I think Liverpool and Real Madrid, by the way, are much better situations than playing for PSG. But like just from the positional like perspective, I do think that like it shows a little bit of immaturity there if that's really what he wants. But anyways, moving forward to just the Real Madrid perspective here. Do you guys want him? Do you not want him? I'm going to start off with Vedant here. What are your thoughts on him potentially coming here?
I'd take him any day. And he's still Kylian Mbappe. He's still one of the best players in the world. We still need somebody of the right wing. Even if he does not play on the right wing, he's a great option to have in the attacking line. We've seen that our attack struggles at times to break low blocks. And with his speed, with his pace, with his turn, with his ability to shoot, uh, we can make use of him definitely. He's a great addition to our team. And I feel that like in a club like PSG, which does not have the same level as Real Madrid, his drama and his tantrums will be taken more seriously. But at Real Madrid, nobody's bigger than the club. Nobody's bigger than Florentino Perez. He'll just tell you to sit down and just put your head down and work, and he'll not listen to your bullshit. So I think that's not going to work at Real Madrid. We have too many leaders in our squad. We have dressing room is quite strong, so I don't think those issues will be that much affecting our dressing room. He had had Prime CR7. He was one of the biggest egomaniacs in the game, in my opinion. So if he faced that, then I don't think he didn't about the issue.
Yeah, I think those are good points. Yeah, that entire thing and the worry that people have about how Mbappe is gonna come and blow up our culture and locker room. Like, who the fuck is Mbappe, bro, to Real Madrid? Like, genuinely, this dude is gonna go in the locker and look Rudiger with like a broken nose, blood dropping from his mouth in the face, and try to cause problems. It's just not gonna work, man. Like imagine like just that locker room dynamic. Like you have Cruz and Rudiger looking at you while you're like t- uh, uh, complaining about not being able to take a penalty. I just don't think that's going to happen. And then the other thing at PSG, and this is a legitimate fact with like a lot of journalism covering it, is that the focus isn't there within the team. Like that's been a thing for a while, and that's why Mbappe has problems with these players. Like not always, but like with some of them, they just do not show the effort day in and day out, and that's a legitimate thing to be upset about. I think I would be too if I was like up there with the best players in the world, and I see Benzema scoring 20 goals in the Champions League with all of his teammates supporting him, right? I want to be in that type of situation as well. So I don't really buy the entire thing that he's going to come here and destroy the locker room. But Steezy, did you have any thoughts on this situation or anything to add to this?
Bro, I'm absolutely shameless. Like, I want him here. Honestly, I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. But I would want to hear if he's willing to sacrifice his preferred position and play either like striker once Benzema's like phased out, because I don't think Mbappe is gonna come sooner than like 2024 probably, or right wing. I think I would only accept that he comes under those two positions. And also, it's pretty funny to see in the server like the people that hate on Mbappe. They're like, "No, he's never gonna come here. He's gonna ruin everything. Mbappe shagged my mom. He doesn't deserve to play for Real Madrid." But like, come on, like I feel like most of the fans in here can like be bought with like a few classical goals. You know, like everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, I knew he would always be good. Like I always knew he was gonna perform for us." Yeah, but basically, I want him here, and you guys already know the conditions. I would want him here. I don't think he would blow up the locker like how you guys said. Like, come on, like Mbappe's like ego alone is like unmatched to all the seasoned veterans that we have. Like I feel like we could straighten him out, and like Flo Perez would probably like he wouldn't like agree to a deal like unless like knowing that like Mbappe's mental is gonna go according to how like the dressing room wants it to go. You know. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah, yeah, I pretty
Also,
much completely agree with you. But Vedant, you wanted to get something in there?
yeah, did you see the rumors about PSG? They actually bought like a company name to send fake tweets and death threats to Mbappe, and like I think it was Rapio back in the day when he was having contract issues. So that is something really low to do, and I don't think Real Madrid will ever do something like that. So that is a pretty shitty thing.
Uh, Florentino Perez has done some stuff.
Yeah,
So
I
you
mean,
guys, you guys
I don't
remember
think he'll do something like this.
the leaked audios? You guys remember that?
oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the main issue I had with Florentino before I'll answer your question too, but
Zidane,
the Zidane situation,
Zidane.
man, that was horrible. I
Yeah,
mean,
Yeah,
he had his henchmen
yeah.
going to media outlets, putting fake stories everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, I wouldn't put it past our club. I think it's something that all the clubs in football do to gain leverage. So I do think, but I'm all for shitting on PSG at any moment. So yeah, fuck PSG, bro. Like, they they are backed by slavery. That's how they get their money. This fucking shit club. And I don't even consider them a rival. Like I consider them like the kid in class who like participates in all the sports and like doesn't even place like top six but talks like the most shit. You know, there's always that like one kid, and that's who
it's a
PSG are
forced
for me.
rivalry.
Yeah, exactly. It's a one-way street. It's a one-way rivalry. Like no one from Real Madrid cares about them outside of them just being annoying in the press. So uh to and sorry, Vedant, before I went on that rant, what exactly was your question? Like summarized again?
No, I didn't ask a question. I just wanted to like put the point that PSG had apparently bought in a company to like share Twitter posts about Mbappe and Rabiot
Oh yeah, yeah.
posting that.
Steezy, what are your thoughts on that bot situation?
Um, I don't know. It's just like pretty funny, you know. Like it doesn't seem far fetched from something that PSG would do, and obviously like they denied it in the media, but like who's going to admit that they did that, you know? I'm just, I don't know. I'm just kind of confused what they're trying to do by like, I don't know, like basically they used it to also like blackmail some fan that Neymar slapped last season. They use it to like shit on the players, which I'm kind of confused about. I don't really get the point of it. You know, like what's the reasoning?
Yeah, yeah. You know, that's how they blackmailed Neymar, you know, and that's why he ended up sleeping with his mom.
Hmm.
Like, that has to be it. Uh,
Oh, okay.
so yeah, I guess things are starting to make sense now, man. Fucking PSG are all over the place. Nazir is like literally a MCU villain at this point, bro. Like that guy is actually fucking batshit. But man, okay. Well, other things to cover. We have a comunicado oficial. I don't even know what they say in like Catalan, what Barca like announces their fucking things as, but you know, they really did it, guys. They sold like half of their club, changed their name to OVO, Spotify, Joe Rogan, Camp Now, and now they're in the Europa League. Well done, guys. A round of applause. This is really a phenomenal achievement. You know, you went from De Jong up top, Depay up top. Now you have Lewandowski, or sorry, Leva Disney, Rafinha, Fati. You have this entire Barca peak DNA athletic phenomenon culture established, and you reach the Europa League, third place out of qualifying from the Champions League group. Excellent work, guys. You guys really, really did a number on us, and we're gonna fry you guys tomorrow. I don't care, you know, you can use this audio clip if we end up losing, but you already know what's gonna happen come tomorrow morning, or yeah, I guess in a few hours. Vedant, did you have any any jokes or thoughts you had about Barcelona being in the Europa League now?
And the memes that people are making are so hilarious right now. Did you see that one where Lewandowski's TikTok has been merged with the Europa League anthem? So funny that the way he dances on sync.
Oh man, I got to check that out. I got to check that out. That sounds funny. Stevie, did you have any thoughts on it before we move on?
Guys, I think we should rate the Europa League like higher than the Champions League. Like, come on, it's gonna be like a lot of tough competition. They're gonna have like Juventus and I don't know, some
Milan,
other like top
Milan,
clubs
Milan.
dropping in soon. Like, I think it should be rated higher than the Champions League. Come on, like getting third place in your group is a pretty tough feat. Not everyone can do it. Okay, like I think we should give it more props. Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I think you're right on there. I'm just waiting in like 5 years. There's going to be a pep quote about it, being like, "Huh, actually, the Europa League is harder." You know, like you got to go into some tough stadiums and win some really tough games. The Europa League's harder, man. It goes the hardest trophies to win are the Copa del Rey number one, La Liga number two, Premier League number three, Europa League number four. That's it. Those are the only ones that matter. Champions League,
Let
yeah,
me know when you can be. Let me know when you can be Ammonia FC and home at home. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
The Ammonia FC,
bro.
man.
Ammonia
What?
FC, bro.
No, but honestly, here's a real question for you guys, right? This is going a bit off topic. No disrespect here. I mean this completely respectfully. Why would you ever name a club ammonia? Like, isn't that like a chemical like element or some shit or like some gas or something? Like, what the fuck is
Let
that
me look
name?
up the reasoning.
I
Let
mean,
me look
Ammonia
up
like,
is
the
the gas
reasoning.
that is.
I'm trying to see the reason. Um,
I mean, what the fuck is an ammonia?
Actually,
I mean, it's not named after the city it's based in because the city it's based in is like Nicosia, I think. I'm so confused. What does ammonia mean?
ammonia is a gas that you urinate. So after your urine dries, the remaining gas is ammonia.
Okay, so you're
Ammonia.
telling me. Go ahead, Stevie. Yeah.
Ammonia means homonyms in Greek, I guess. I don't know, man. I'm really confused here. Someone
I'm,
help me
I'm gonna
out.
I'm gonna take Vedant's definition. If it's dry, it's literally dried piss, like the gas that comes from dried piss. And United was struggling away to this team, bro. Like, come on. Like, what is going on with the Premier League? I don't want to see one more Twitter merchant being like, "Oh, actually, the Premier League is very, very good. Like, you know, we got so much competition." No, dude, your teams are struggling to ammonia, like literally dried piss vapor away. Like, you can't be rocking. Like, it's actually embarrassing. but yeah, that's enough roasting the Europa League. Very very respectful competition. A lot of a
Because
lot of triumphs there.
the the list of the teams in the Europa League this time are like Arsenal, Man United, Juve, Barca, AC Milan. That's a
It's a
crazy
cracked
list.
lineup. It's a cracked lineup, bro.
Yeah, it's a Super League preview, bro. It's just the Super League before the Super League. So yeah, man, it's gonna be some exciting
Respect
stuff.
Europa League.
Yeah, that's the key takeaway from this podcast. Respect for Europa League, and it's just phenomenal stuff. Moving on a little bit, we have a key match today. Believe it or not, we have another clasico, and to kick us off, we have some viewer questions. So this is really a good thing all around. The first question that we have comes from Chunks. And he asks, how do you think the Clasico will go? Smoothly, or will we go back to our UCL shithousing? I'm going to start off with you, Steezy. What do you think about this?
Um, let's see. So Barcelona this season has been known as a team that goes hard like the first 70 minutes and then like dies out the last 20 minutes. And we're known as a team that kind of like shit houses the first 70 minutes, then like we turn on the freaking gears in the last 20 minutes. I think you know how Bayern versus Barcelona was like the game in the Champions League. I think it might play out like that in the first half. They might be like dominating us a little bit, pressing us hard, and getting a lot of attacking runs into the box. But I think in the second half we'll probably end up like beating them, putting on the gears like always, and probably like overrunning them. And I'm predicting like let's see, like a 3-1 win for us. You know, we always leak a goal, and since we have Lunin instead of Courtois in the net, I think we're going to leak one goal probably, but I think we're probably going to see some 3 goals in there.
Okay. Vedant, your thoughts on this?
Mm, I think if we survive the initial onslaught, as Stevie said, then we can pretty much make a meal out of that match. Looking at Barca's defense, they're quite weak on their transition, and if Xavi decides to play Busquets in the midfield, I think we can hit them on the counter pretty easily. Hopefully, our defense holds up without Thibaut. I think Lunin will have a big test for himself, and let's see how Rudiger is, and hopefully Carlo decides to play him because I think he's the best like aerial defender we have, and he'll be great in shutting down Lewandowski. So let's see.
Score prediction there?
Mm, 2-1 probably to us.
Okay. Interesting, interesting. So I think both of you are relatively going towards the shithouse type game. I think I am too. But it's not going to be a good result for us. I think Barcelona wins 5-2. It's just they have too much passion. Their DNA has been reignited. Xavi is one of the best managers of all time and probably the best midfielder ever
Ooh,
because nobody could convert lateral passes and bore you to death like
I
Xavi could.
I have some thoughts.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think we should make Xavi honorary horny gang member. He stated that the El
Mm.
Clasico makes him feel very horny. Just thoughts. I think we should make him honorary horny gang member. You know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can forgive him for boring me to death like the entire 2010 World Cup by like passing the ball sideways the entire time. Like people make fun of Cruz for that shit, right? Bro, that Spanish team would literally pass the ball sideways for like 70 like percent possession every single game. I can't forgive him for that. I don't care how horny he is. Like he can be part of like cockroach or monkey or like one of those loser gangs, like full of like the wave merchants and bullshit. I don't know. What do you think about it?
Yeah, no, I don't think we should give Xavi that because I think right now we have Hazard on the bench and looking has looking at his ass. I think anybody will get on. Just one look
double,
at that. No,
No
one
shame,
look at
no
that.
shame.
double cheek up.
Oh man, everyone do themselves a
Good.
favor and go search up the picture of Zidane slapping Hazard's ass, bro. That shit is amazing.
uh, it's
But
making me feel things I've never felt before, man.
no, it really is a iconic footballing picture, right? Like it's right up there with like the CR7, like Kalma, Messi holding up his shirt. Then you have Zidane like slapping Hazard's ass, bro. That shit is amazing. But getting into Chunks' second question, and this one I really actually did like, just giving us a chance to talk about tactics a bit more. Should Benzema start for El Clasico, or should we go with VRV? Vinny, Rodrigo, Lucas Vasquez. No, just kidding. Fede Valverde. And I want you guys not to focus so much on what will happen, but what you would do tactically on this one. So I'll start with Vedant for this.
I'd play Benzema. So, like I'd put Valverde in, so I'd play Vinicius, Benzema, and Valverde, and wait for the onslaught to finish, and then bring on Rodrigo in the second half for the extra move.
Okay. Okay. And to take me through the decision making there a little bit, right? Vinny,
So
Rodrigo, and Valverde had some good games together. I mean, Benzema's obviously Benzema, but like, yeah, take me through the thought process there a bit.
So I still feel that Paris' biggest weakness is their defense and how their centre backs are pulled away from the line. And in terms of positioning and in terms of movement, I still feel that Benzema is better than any of our front line members available in this squad. So I think Benzema has to start his game. And what Valverde gives in the midfield in that right wing midfield hybrid position is much better than what Rodrigo gives. So I think I'll start in there. So it will be a 4-4-2 kind of block with Valverde pushing a bit backwards when Barca are pressing us in the first half. And afterwards, Rodrigo can come on as fresh legs to dominate the Barca backline. So I think that will be better rather than starting with Rodrigo, because if Rodrigo starts, then we don't have anyone on the bench to make a difference in the second half if we have to make changes. Like Benzema won't make that much of a difference coming off the bench like Rodrigo.
Okay. Okay. Steezy, what are your thoughts on this question?
I think we should start Benzema. I know he hasn't been like in the greatest form in the past couple games, but the only way for him to get back into form and to start playing better is to play more games, to continue playing games, and set up his rhythm again. And you know Benzema. Benzema thrives in big games. Something similar happened last season. I believe it was during the first leg against PSG. He was injured, and the following games after that, leading up to the second leg, he wasn't playing his best. But he absolutely turned up in that second leg versus PSG, scored the hattie. And I don't know, I feel like this, I can just sense like a similar scenario going on right now. Like he hasn't been playing good, but I think he'll finally show up in this big game and he'll score or provide some assist at least. And he'll show everyone that, like, okay, I'm back. Like, no need to worry, okay?
Yeah, I'm also with you guys on this. I know I try to make it seem like VRV is the better solution, but I just think with Barcelona's problems at center half right now, you really need to punish that. Like that is a huge flaw. I know Koundé's back for this game, but Koundé and Eric Garcia is just not optimal, right? Like if you have a center half who can make those sneaky runs like Benzema can, like Benzema makes so many micro movements throughout the match to adjust the other team's defensive midfielder in those two center halves. And within that space, he's always moving, always a threat. And that really frees up the game for everybody else, which is why until this season, where I think, Fede and Rodrigo have done decent at this, until this season, we really missed his presence whenever he was out, is because then when he's out of the lineup, the other team doesn't really have to worry about like 90% of the things they have to worry about when he's there. So it's kind of like if for the people who watch basketball, it's kind of like Stephen Curry with his gravity. That's what Benzema provides in that middle for us, right? And he really does warp the defense around him. So yeah, not really a controversial take from any of us, but I think Benzema is the right choice there. Moving on to the next question. This is also from Chunks. What are your thoughts about Lunin against Barcelona? Do you think he can step up and handle this occasion? Steezy, I'll start with you.
Um, People have been like talking down a bit on Lunin this season, but we have to take into consideration he only gets about like 5 games max every season. So we just need to give him a bit of time to like gain some form before this game. And I remember last season, Courtois got injured at some point. I can't really remember, but Lunin played like a couple games. I think it was like three games, and he stepped up. He like deputized the role of goalkeeper, and he played pretty good. I think he's gotten some decent game time, and I think he's gonna perform well enough. Obviously, not gonna perform like extreme like shot stopping like Courtois, but I think he's gonna do a decent job at it. That's just my thoughts. I don't know. It's kind of a hard question. You know, we don't really see Lunin play, not like to the extent of Courtois, so we can't really like determine whether how good he's gonna perform or not.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I stand as well. Like with Lunin, I mean, looking at the games that he has started for us, the one goal that stands out to me is the Kike Garcia one. I think if Tebow's in net for that, like he saves it. Outside of that, every other goal that's come in, like not that many have come in to be fair, but would have been there, I think, even if Tebow was in the game, like honestly. So yeah, Lunin is worse, but I think if he were on like some mid-table La Liga team, he would be starting. So we have an above-average La Liga keeper as our backup. That's a good situation to be in when it does come to backup goalkeepers, because anyone who's like somewhat decent is going to go find a starting place somewhere. So I think we're fine. It's obviously a huge loss going from the best keeper in the world to like an above average La Liga one. But if you play football the right way, you can easily still win this match. I mean, Barcelona have had their share of problems against much worse keepers. So this year they've had some really bad goal droughts. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Vedant, you want to add anything there?
No, no, same thing. Like at this point, we have no other choice. Tibo is not even in the list, so we have to hope and we have to pray that Mani does not do any bad mistakes. And I think he's shown enough in the few games that he's great that we can trust on.
Sounds good. Okay, so I guess coming into this match, I mean, form doesn't matter as much in Clásicos. We've seen some weird results through the years. But one thing that's kind of been lacking for Real Madrid in recent history is that big statement win. You know, like how Barcelona had their 5-1, I believe, last year. I mean, even last winter, 4-0, which was tainted at the absence of Benzema, but still 4-0. It was 4-0 away. So do you think this is a good chance for a big win, or do you see this kind of being closer? Vedant, I'll start with you.
Yeah, no, I don't think we'll ever win big against Barcelona. In fact, I think Barca is beating us like 5-6 nil today. So,
Yeah, but you earlier said that we were
no,
going to win 2-1, huh? What happened?
yeah, but though I made some calculations, like RuneScape calculations, and I plugged it in my calculator, and it's showing me that now Barca is going to win, like with Lewandowski and everything. I didn't make into account that Koundé is also back. So yeah, no, but on a serious note, I don't think we'll win big. I think against Barcelona, like their philosophy and their playing style counters us very well. So I don't think we are going to get a big win. We'll get a shit house somewhere. Hopefully.
Steezy, thoughts?
No, I don't think we're gonna get a big win. We've had like pretty good opportunities to get big wins. Like last season, the first El Clasico, that was like one of the worst like Barca lineups, and they were like in the shittiest form. And I think we only won like 3-1, I believe. And I just want to give like some reasoning behind it. I feel like every time we play at Clasico, Madrid is not necessarily trying to make a statement, you know? Like, yeah, it's a rivalry, but we always just go in and try to get a result. Um, I feel like it's different for Barcelona. Like, you've all heard that quote from like Jose Mourinho that like Real Madrid, it's just like another rivalry, but like in Barcelona, they're like raised to hate Real Madrid from the academy, like from the academy days. Like their whole purpose is to beat Real Madrid during the season, while our purpose is to like win trophies and such. And I don't know. I feel like they just take it way more seriously than we do. Not to say that we don't care about the Clasico. I just think for Barcelona, it's like the game they've been waiting for the whole season. And it's like I don't know their chance to prove themselves. That's pretty much all my thoughts on it.
Yeah, those are some good points. I think you brought up something really interesting there about, and Vedant, I'll ask you about this, but you brought up an interesting point about the, the grassroots upbringing kind of Barcelona and why they hate Real Madrid so much. Um, I think with our fans hate Barcelona as much as Barcelona fans hate Real Madrid. Like, I think that's definitely there. But I think the difference between the two teams is that Barcelona, on average, have usually had like more grassroots players in their team. Like they'll have like Fatih, Gavi, Pedri. Pedri isn't like a complete grassroots player, but you get what I mean, right? Like their team at any given moment will have like 6 or 7 players in the squad sheet from La Masia, whereas Real Madrid, it's not quite as strong of like from the time they're U9 all the way to Castilla, right? Like we'll have some Castilla players, but even those Castilla players, like they're not really necessarily going to be from brought up in Madrid. So I think there's a bit of a disconnect there. Vedant, what do you think about that? Like, what do you think about you know La Masia playing like a big impact in how the rivalry is perceived on both sides?
No, I think the point of that was in the Figo podcast as well, like in the Figo documentary as well. So in that they showed that how Figo was absorbed into the Catalonia ways. So Catalonia has like a big anti-Madrid agenda, and they want to separate from the nation, and I think that plays a big part in it as well. The vibes, like their values are imbibed into the players. And yeah, that's true what you said about La Masia and that we bring in a lot of players. And I think that does make a big impact. Like our Castilla players don't care that much about our rivalry with Barcelona or Atletico Madrid for that matter. They just want to win trophies, as Steve said. So, and we don't even focus on Castilla that much. We are just mercenaries buying players left and right, whoever we feel is good. I don't think that carries that much in our team.
Yeah, I think for the most part, our players are, a lot of them aren't really, yeah, like even at Barcelona this is true, but like a lot of our players are kind of like they come in to play, win games, win trophies, and that's the thing, right? Like obviously they buy into the lore and stuff, but that's it for us. Whereas I feel like, like Xavi's literally getting horny for a clasico. I don't think a Real Madrid player would ever say that, right? Like maybe I don't know, maybe Rudiger. Maybe Rudiger. I could see that dude. He seems kind of crazy. But
Rudiger's the only one that's crazy enough to say something like that.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, anyways, moving on. I think that's oh, well, there's one more game related topic we had here. What is your choice in back line? Coming into this game, like I think we're pretty certain that Carvajal is starting on the right fullback position. But the other three spots are kind of up to discussion here. So Vedant, I'll start with you on this one. Who would you choose next to Carvajal?
I'll go with Mondi, Militao, and Rudiger. That's my starting line.
Interesting, interesting. Steezy, how about you?
Thoughts as but I want to see Rudiger and Militao line up. Just so there's like a stronger like aerial prowess to defend Lewandowski. Because you already know Dembele and Rafinha are going to be doing like cross and mashallah to Lewandowski and just praying that they get a sneaky goal on us. And for lineup, I would choose Mendy. I think Mendy would be like the best option to mark Dembele or Rafinha, whoever they decide to play on the right.
Yeah, I think I agree with both of you. Like that, I think Mondi, Rudiger, Militao, Carvajal is probably the best lineup there. And also because you start those four, Alaba can come in as a substitute and literally fill in at like any position, which is I think a really cool thing to have tactically, right? Like suppose you're down in the game, all of a sudden you put Alaba in for Mondi, like I think that's something tactically that you can do. Whereas vice versa, if you put Mondi in for Alaba, it's like a pure defensive substitution to hold off the game. I guess there's pros and cons there, but I do like that. I think one kind of side topic there is Dembele has been so good recently in terms of his movement. Like this is like kind of like the Dortmund Dembele that we saw where he could just dribble anyone. The decision making still not completely there as we saw in the UCL match, but this dude's on insane form, and we really do need Mondi out there to be able to contain this guy. But yeah, any final thoughts, either of you, on the Clasico before we move into the other topics?
I don't think we'll see Mondi versus Dembele. I think we'll see Dembele versus Carvajal because Dembele has been playing on the other wing rather than his natural right wing. So I think Carvajal will have to face Dembele.
Oh, interesting. So has it been Rafinha on the
Rafinha
right
has
flank?
been, yeah, yeah, because Rafinha is not that good on the left wing, so Rafinha has been playing on the right wing, and Dembele has been playing on the left.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Okay. That's interesting. Also, I think Carvajal might have a few problems. Last time he played like a winger of that type of caliber, it wasn't the best showing from him, but we'll see. I have faith in him. He's done a lot of great things in the shirt, so I think he'll be okay. Also, Militao being on that side, it helps a lot too because Militao is like low key, or maybe even high key. I think he's our best one-on-one defender, even against the wingers. Like I don't see that dude ever get like beat like that on the wings whenever he has to cover out there. So he can help a lot with Dembele as well. But yeah, I guess moving on. This week we do have a little bit of server talk at least. We had this entire Kev situation. I'm gonna hand this over to Steezy and let him lead this
Oh,
segment.
oh, I didn't think we were gonna talk about this, but how long ago was it? Was it like 3 weeks or 2 weeks?
Somewhere between two 2 weeks and a
Two
month. I can't really remember.
All right, so recap. If I remember correctly, basically Kevin and Vidant were having a actual seriously football related discussion in VIP lounge about Napoli and their players and how well they were performing. And all of a sudden, Sub, also known as Subby or whatever, decides to just say no to something Kev had said about Napoli about them playing good. And Kev, Kev, he's a reasonable man. He's just like, oh, so why are you saying no? You don't agree with me? I think Napoli's playing really good. And Sub just says no again. And Kev gets a little bit bothered. Okay, he was like, okay, can you like back that up? And Sub just keeps on saying no, and it gets Kev really irritated because all Kev wanted to do was have some serious football talk. But Sub being the troll that he is, he decided to step into that and just create a little bit of chaos, and that turned into a whole shit show. Someone else want to talk about it and fill in the gaps for me?
Just also want to put out a PSA there. We have permission from all parties involved in this situation, so you can't really sue us or get us muted or black booked or actually I shouldn't say black booked. That's not. That might be an
Ooh,
offensive term. But
oh, wait! I
like
forgot one thing. I forgot one thing. We got like a really no disrespect, Ken. I just thought this was really funny, but we got a very iconic line from that whole argument. Basically, Kev, when he got upset with Sub, he said he doesn't pay $9.99 to boost and see trolls in VIP. And
um,
that has turned into kind of a staple saying in VIP. If someone's like shithousing like Roche saying hi and checking his rank in VIP, you just gotta say I didn't pay $9.99 to see this shit in VIP.
yeah, bro. Yeah, I found it really funny. I found it like the equivalent of like what's that like one TV show? I think it's called like Everybody Hates Chris, and there's a line there where like the mom is like upset at someone or like, and she's like, I don't have time for this. My man works two jobs, and I just found that like fucking Kev quote to be so fucking similar to that shit. He's just like, I paid $9.99 for this. I don't fucking have time for this stuff. But hey, man, honestly, I want Kev back in the server. That dude is a fucking legend.
Yeah,
He's a fucking all time
Yeah.
legend, icon of the server. So let's get him back in. Hashtag bring back Kev. Hashtag horny yang up. That's all I got to say about that situation. Vedant, any
yeah.
any closing thoughts?
I got a question for you guys. Like, um, do you think that like VIP lounge should be like, I don't know. Do you think he was like justified in getting mad? Do you think VIP lounge should be a little bit more serious? I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
So before I think either of us answer, um, I think I feel like it's just kind of like a trolley thing. Like
Hmm.
VIP Lounge half the time is Rod saying dead chat or us three talking about like having a
Yeah,
threesome in like Rod's like jacuzzi or some shit, bro. Like it's not
yeah,
like ever been a serious place for like anything. Like the only
yeah,
is there even anyone serious there? I guess the Gate Zero thing is pretty serious, but like that's a
yeah.
separate channel. You can't expect seriousness in VIP channel. Like if you want to have a serious talk, go to transfer talk or football talk. Like people there are VIP channel. Half the people, no, not even half, like 90% of the people there have not touched grass like ever, ever. So like you're not gonna get the best interactions. Vedant, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, what was the question? About VIP. Yeah, I don't think like it should be taken that seriously. Like if there are different channels for different types of talk, and I don't think VIP lounge is for that kind of shit. So yeah, VIP lounge is filled with like people spamming whatever they want, like Lily and Rosh and PC conversations. What VIP lounge is these days.
Yeah, no, okay. Let me
Yeah,
narrate a conversation really quick between like Rod, Roche, and Lily. Right? It'll be like Lily posts Jerry. No, sorry. Rod posts dead chat. Lily posts three Jerrys. Roche posts exclamation mark levels, exclamation mark rank high. Like, bro, you can't go into that channel, see that shit, and be like, oh yeah, man, this is a serious place for Napoli discussion. Like, I'm sorry, bro, but that's just not the fucking vibe, bro. Like, I go there when like my last brain cell has been like fucking killed at work, and I just need to like see a Jerry. You know, that's literally the only reason I open that channel. So I don't know. I feel like the blame is definitely not with Sabu on this one. I love you, Kev, and
So
I want you back,
fucking
but yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Vedant.
I'm so fucking sick of Jerry. I'm so fucking sick of seeing that stupid rat in the chat.
Oh, man, yeah, fucking dude, yeah, Jerry needs to stop. I use Jerry a good amount too, but it's just not the move at all. Like, I don't like it. Hold on, let me take a look at like what the most recent. Okay, here is the conversation. Rod, no, sorry, Sabu post hi at Lily. Rod says K. Genshin Gamer says K. Sabu says hi at Rod. Rod says no. Melvin says at Genshin Gamer, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. Zishan replies, Benz. Genshin Gamer says, what? Melvin says, hi. Genshin Gamer says, squirrel. Like, imagine seeing that
Bro.
feed and then being like, oh, yeah, bro, I'm going to go talk about like my 401k in this channel. Like, oh, come on, dude. You got to be better than that. I'm sorry. But wow. Okay. Um,
The VIP lounge is not a real place, man. Actually, read right now what I posted.
Okay, I'm gonna read what happened since I just narrated that. Vedant says, "Unsettled Tom." Steezy replies with, "I don't pay 9.99 for this," and then Vedant replies, "Keck W explode, Keck explode." Okay. Um, but all right. Anyways, moving on. We got kind of distracted there. We do have some Q&A, good questions brought in once again. Thanks for the support, everyone. By the way, if you're still listening at this point, I want you to go smash the like button and subscribe to our Patreon. But anyways, first question comes in from Aaron.
Wait,
Question.
hold up.
Mhm.
Smash the like button, or Mbappe will smash your mom.
Quote it.
That's
Someone
a
quote it.
warning. That's a warning.
Yeah, bro, yeah, exactly. So Aaron asks, who from the current game do you think would be the next big manager, and who from Madrid exclusively as well? So two different, I guess like two different people here. Vedant, I'll start with you.
I think it has to be someone who likes football to that level that he agreed to be a manager. From Madrid, I think it will be Cruz. I've seen his coaching channel and everything, and he's posting some great content there. So I think Cruz would be a good manager in the future. He's also smart and everything. I think midfielders make the best managers out of all, and I think Kevin De Bruyne has a good shot if he decides to take that post in the future. Yeah, those two.
Good answers. I think I also had Cruz, but I'll have to think about someone else. So Steezy, I'll let you go first.
Um, Personally, I don't think Cruz, just because like how family oriented he is, like he hates going on international duty because he's like away from his like family and stuff. Personally, I think the reason why he wants to retire like pretty early is just so he can spend time with his family. So I can't really see him going back into like anything football related, like managerial or anything. But I can always be proven wrong. Like with Zidane, he said he was never going to be a manager, but he ended up being a manager. But out of the Madrid squad today, I think Modric. Modric, he's a very intelligent player, and he just like refuses to give up. Like this guy's like Tom Brady. He just wants to keep on playing. He doesn't want to stop playing. He's already almost 38 years old, I believe, and I just think he loves the game. And once he retires, he'll be getting his license and managing maybe some team in Croatia, and then moving up to the top tier teams. Maybe one day he'll manage us. As for someone that's not from Madrid, I don't know, man. That's kind of a hard one. I don't really like think about that too much, you know. So I can't really give an answer for someone that's not in the Madrid squad right now.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. I think Cruz and Modric would be my top two shots from Real Madrid. A bit of a dark horse here is I think Nacho would make like a pretty good manager. Excellent, man management type skills. Like I think for his role in the team, he does a really good job there. As a center half, I think he's quite adept tactically, and I think he just kind of gets it. Like he's always been a guy who just kind of understands how shit should work. So I really do like Nacho. Um, I think outside of Real Madrid, I don't have the best answer for you. Like, I think a lot of the top players are just like not really cut out for it. Um, I'll give you two names here. One, not as a manager, but we'll get to that after this. I think Ramos would make a pretty decent manager. I think he's a pretty passionate dude. He could do some good, cool stuff, man management wise. And given his remarks in the last match day, I think John Henderson would make an excellent police officer. Like, he just fits exactly what the criteria there is. So I think, he really, especially when it comes to dealing with, certain people. So yeah, I think Hendo as a police officer would be excellent. Any final thoughts there, guys?
Nope, nothing to add. But I
No,
just
no.
realized that me and Vidant, we chose like mostly midfielders, and midfielders are usually known as like the ones who understand football the best, and usually the most of the time they end up being managers. Off the top of my head, Pirlo, not a very good example, no. And Zidane, they're like the most intelligent players, and they usually end up being managers. Just saying.
How dare you forget Xavi?
Oh yeah, Xavi.
Javi.
Both Xavis, Xavi Alonso and Xavi.
Javi. But,
Xavi.
uh, okay, moving on. Frosty asks, what for before that, Aaron, thanks for your question. Aaron submitted a question every single time, by the way. So hashtag goat Aaron fashion god in the chat. All right. Frosty asks, what one person in the server would you trust most to give you a good haircut if you asked them, and who would you avoid the most? So I think I'll go first. I think Frosty or Aaron, one of those two will give a really good haircut. I don't know. I just get like a sense of it. And I love you, Cap, but I am not trusting you with my hair. This dude would like put a Barca logo like on the side of my haircut or some shit. Like this dude, I would definitely end up getting trolled. But yeah. Anyways, Steezy, who would you ask?
I'm gonna have to go with Aaron. It's gonna sound a little bit biased, but like I don't know. I just think he has like the best fashion sense, and I felt like if it's like I had to rely on him to give me a haircut, he could like do a decent job at it. Like maybe not the greatest haircut, but he wouldn't leave me looking all fucked up, and like I wouldn't get any bitches. He would look out for me. And who would I avoid? Oh, I would avoid Mello, bro. Mello hates my guts, and he would probably just fuck my shit up. He would give me like the nastiest lineup. He would give me like the worst fade, like chunks of hair on one side and the other like bald. Nah, bro. I'm avoiding Mello. Fuck that
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think Melo's another one up there for me with Cap. Like I don't know, man. It's a little sketchy. It's like the we have $3 haircuts like shop like like you drive past.
guy.
That's their barber shop. But Vedant, who do you have?
So the one who gives the haircut, the one who I prefer is probably Aaron myself too. Like his style and everything is quite nice. So yeah, just a series I go to Aaron as well. And the one who I like not go to definitely is probably some like he's the biggest troll in the server. I don't know what the fuck is that.
Hey, are you
He'll
saying that
probably
you're not gonna pay 9.99 for his haircut?
he'll probably scrape a no with a big razor in the side of your scalp.
Al- Also, I wouldn't trust Roche to cut my hair. He would be like cutting my hair, but he'd also be on his phone checking like his rank on Discord.
That's
It's like,
funny.
oh, I just leveled up to 19. Fuck yeah, I'm passing up all of you guys. I'm gonna be retired legend by January 28th. Just fucking watch me.
Yeah, he's collecting girlfriends like Pokemon, you know. So well on his way. But
Oh,
Collecting cars too, bro.
yeah, yeah, all of it, all of it. Next, well, Frosty, thanks for a question. That was a great topic. It led to some funny stuff. Next question and final question is from Sponge, who asks, milk first or cereal? I'll take this one first. I think milk and cereal are for people who don't have their life in order, and AKA they're just not true natural leaders. I only have like chicken and bone broth, and that's literally it. And that too, I have once a day, and I fast the rest of the day. So, yeah, I think a good in between would be just substitute the milk for bone broth, so you can become more of a leader and more of a RuneScape phenomenon athletic weapon. I think that's like a good substitution you can make, and then eventually you won't even want the cereal. Eventually you won't even need to eat. But yeah, jokes aside, I always was cereal first, milk second. I just feel like it just feels right. Vedant, what's your answer for this one?
same cereal first, milk second. So seeing how much cereal I've poured, I've put the amount of milk required.
Steezy?
All right, so I'm gonna answer this a little bit seriously, but when I eat cereal, I like all my flakes to be like a little bit like covered a little bit with milk, you know. So if I pour like milk in first and then my cereal, the top layer of the cereal is still gonna be like dry and like completely crunchy, and it's not gonna have like any milk on it. And that's just like eating like dry, like I don't know, like I don't know, just dry as fuck. Like I'm gonna be eating like a Popeyes biscuit. I'm gonna be fucking choking on it. So that's why I like pouring in the cereal first, then milk, because I can like evenly coat all the little flakes with milk, and that's just like so much better. I'm not fucking choking on the cereal, not making it feel like I'm eating a Popeyes biscuit. So yeah, cereal
Hmm.
first, guys.
Yeah. I mean,
I
but
just
don't
I
buy
just
too
got
much into like Steezy not wanting to choke on things because it's just that's it's only with Popeyes
Hey,
biscuits.
you're leaking confidential HQ information, bro. No one can know. No one can know. Okay.
subscribe to our Patreon for that.
Yeah, subscribe to the Patreon for that. You guys might get added to HQ and see all types of stuff. That's definitely worth 9.99. That's what I will say is our Patreon is definitely worth the 9.99, guys. No trolls there.
They,
So
and you can get invited to Milky Wilkie time, where we milk Sponge every Wednesday, if you're interested in that.
yeah, yep. Uh, for legal reasoning, I can't confirm if that's actually true or not, or a benefit of the Patreon, but like definitely do try it out and see what happens. But yeah,
Smash
that
the like
wraps the
button.
show. I think that's like everything we had to cover. Honestly, this probably I would have to say like content wise, I'll have to watch it back because I'm kind of tired right now. But content wise, probably was the best show. But any final thoughts, you guys? Anything you want to say?
Smash the fucking like button, bro.
Yeah. Also, fucking watch this shit, guys. Like the last 2 3 episodes have gotten less and less views. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? We're making you guys this great content, and you guys are fucking posting like Jerry, Tom, and shit in fucking VIP channel. At least watch our podcast while you fucking spam and get muted. Okay, so yeah, Vedant, final thoughts, and Vedant, honestly, you can wrap it for us. Wrap it.
Let's go.
Yeah, smash that like and subscribe button or the channel will be horny for you and something in your bed.
Yes.
So watch out.
Stay horny, my
Listen to this
friends.
podcast.
Trivela Hour, episode 4. Thanks.